Okay, let's jump right into this. Today's explainer is essentially a masterclass designed to completely future-proof your IT communication skills for the 2026 landscape. Because look, whether you're leading a DevOps team, writing technical docs, or literally just trying to get your pull requests approved a little faster, the way you communicate is honestly just as critical as the code you write. So we're going to look at the exact blueprints for technical clarity straight from the latest industry research. But before we get into the high-level strategy, we've got to address the elephant in the room, a hook that almost every developer has agonized over at some point. How do you actually pronounce regex? It's a universal anxiety. I mean, I'm sure you've either witnessed or maybe actively participated in those heated daily stand-up debates over pronouncing this notorious piece of tech jargon. It's actually the perfect example of how microscopic communication details can either derail a conversation or just create instant, unnecessary friction. So here is our micro to macro roadmap for today. First, we'll tackle the tech pronunciation minefield. Second, the functional shift grammar hack. Third, writing for tech stakeholders. And finally, communicating with AI agents. All right, let's dive into part one, the tech pronunciation minefield. It's time to settle some great jargon debates. Let's start by resolving that opening question about regex. Basically, we've got two fiercely warring camps here, and honestly, both have totally valid linguistic arguments. The first camp defends the hard G, saying regex, because, well, it's an abbreviation of regular expressions. It makes total logical sense, right? But the other camp defends the soft G, saying regex. This follows the natural English phonetic rule where an abbreviation takes on a sound similar to a word like register. Online developer forums have literally debated this for almost 2 decades. The final consensus? While both are widely used, the soft G, regex, is often naturally preferred simply because it flows a lot smoother in spoken English. Next up is another incredibly common piece of web infrastructure, YAML. Now we are firmly putting our foot down on the accepted standard pronunciation here. It rhymes perfectly with camel, and you always pronounce it as a single word, never spelling out the individual letters. What's kind of fun is that the name itself evolved over time. Originally, it stood for yet another markup language, but the community actually reinterpreted it as a recursive acronym, so now it officially stands for YAML Ain't Markup Language. Let's run through a few more of these notoriously tricky terms that you absolutely have to master. First up, the web server Nginx. This one is completely non-phonetic. It is not Nginx, it's pronounced Nginx. It's actually a really clever play by its Russian developer on creating a high-performance engine for the web. Next is JSON. The absolute gold standard here is JSON. You really want to avoid JSON or JSON because that can cause some momentary confusion in a rapid-fire meeting. Finally, since we are living in a zero-trust cybersecurity era, the word authentication gets thrown around daily. It requires a very crisp, clear, voiceless TH sound to really sound professional. Now, if English isn't your first language, I really want to emphasize a crucial distinction here. Your accent is totally natural, but pronunciation is about clarity. AI voice processing tools and global tech leaders all agree on this. The goal here is absolutely not to drop your native accent to sound perfectly American or British. No way. The goal is simply achieving clear vowel sounds and using consistent technical phrasing. Keep your accent. Just focus on hitting those standard technical pronunciations because that is how you build trust and authority in a global team. Moving right along to part two, the functional shift grammar hack. We're looking at noun versus verb stress. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how simple the rule actually is. There's this incredibly simple grammatical rule that will instantly elevate your fluency. In English, certain words literally change their stress pattern to tell you their grammatical function. So if you're using the word as a noun, like a physical thing, you stress the first syllable, an attribute, a record, an object. But if you use that exact same word as an action, a verb, the stress shifts over to the second syllable. You attribute a cause, you record a meeting, you object to a proposal. Native ears subconsciously listen for this shift, and mastering it makes your technical speech sound flawlessly natural. All right, zooming out to part three. Writing for tech stakeholders. This is where we translate tech directly into business value. So when you're writing a pull request, submitting a bug report, or firing off an email to an executive, you really need to front-load your communication. Our sources highlight this incredibly effective 3-step framework. Number 1, context. Why does this matter right now? 2, change. What exactly are you proposing or reporting? And 3, expected outcome. What happens next? Putting the absolute most critical information first respects the reader's time. Think about it. If you bury the whole purpose of an update down in paragraph 3, executives and product directors are simply going to stop reading. Let's look at an example to put that into perspective. Consider your typical metric-heavy engineering updates. We reduced P99 latency by 40 milliseconds. To a product director, that means almost nothing. But if we translate that exact same engineering feat into business value, page load times improved by 15%, correlating with a 3% conversion increase. Boom, you've just connected a back-end server optimization directly to company revenue. It's a real game changer. Every single metric you present should immediately answer the question, why does this matter to the business? Which brings us to our final section, Part 4, Communicating with AI Agents. Say hello to the new machine audience. The reality of 2026 is wild. As technical communication thought leaders are pointing out, the AI infrastructure isn't consolidated in a few apps, it's spread across the entire code base, creating a dense, interconnected web of automated agents. Just think about your daily workflow right now. AI is right there summarizing bugs. It's reading your code changes to generate descriptions. It's scraping your documentation to answer customer support queries. Whether we like it or not, AI is now a primary VIP consumer of literally everything you write. And because of this massive shift, a completely new concept has emerged. It's called GEO, or Generative Engine Optimization. Think of this as the new SEO, but instead of optimizing for a Google search results page, you're optimizing for AI outputs. It's the practice of deliberately structuring your text, your codebase, and your documentation so that large language models and chatbots can easily ingest, understand, and then surface your work. By mastering GEO, engineering teams actually take control over exactly how their data is interpreted by these autonomous systems. So how are companies practically adapting to this right now? Well, for starters, they are entirely overhauling their error codes. Those old cryptic error codes, they're being rewritten into clear, descriptive language specifically so AI agents can debug them faster. Second, they're formatting content strictly for LLM consumption. We're talking clear headings, highly predictable structures, and standard terminology. And third, they are spinning up MCP servers, Model Context Protocol servers, to explicitly guide chatbots straight to the most relevant, up-to-date company data. Because look, if you want an AI chatbot to recommend your software to a potential client, your documentation absolutely must be machine readable. Now, you might be wondering, does this new skill set actually pay off? Well, check out this number, £800. According to 2026 market research, that is the top daily rate for freelance AI infrastructure engineers. There's just a massive shortfall in talent that understands both how to scale complex AI technologies and how to effectively communicate that system architecture to both humans and machines. Mastering clear communication, all the way from the phonetic pronunciation of YAML up to generative engine optimization, pays undeniable dividends. Which brings us to our final big question for you to ponder. Is your technical communication truly optimized for both the humans of today and the AI agents of tomorrow? From speaking clearly in your morning stand-ups, to writing outcome-driven emails for the C-suite, to structuring your code for LLMs, communication is the ultimate multiplier of your technical skills. So take these blueprints, future-proof your career, and start optimizing. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.